Like, good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out to join us tonight. My name's Mitesh, and I'm from Success at School. Tonight, we are hosting a webinar with the Army. From hands-on training to life-changing experiences, this is the event and your chance to hear directly from Army leaders explore unique career opportunities the Army has for you and your kids. Whether you're a student, teacher, or parent, we have Paul Hughes, who is the lead recruiter, here to tell you about the opportunities at the Army Foundation College. Before I hand over to Paul, just a few things. If you have any questions, please can you ask them in the chat function. There will be a Q&A session at the end, and we will do our best to answer as many questions as possible. The webinar will be recorded, so if you're following us on YouTube, you'll be notified as soon as it goes on there. Otherwise, we'll drop you an email tomorrow to let you know when it's live. I hope you find this evening session valuable. Paul, over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. So my name is Paul Hughes, and I'm going to go through this evening's presentation with you. Please get all those questions out there. We will answer as many questions as we can as we go through. So a little bit about my background. I served 37 years in the Army, joined at the age of 15, had a full career, and now work for Recruiting Group as a lead recruiter as we go through. So enough about me. This is about you getting some information about what you want. So before we start, I must tell you about the Army's diversity, equality and inclusion statement. So the Army believes in diversity, equality and inclusion, whatever your background, sexual orientation or gender identity. We take pride in the equality that we offer. We believe that belonging means that whoever you are, wherever you are from, and whatever defines you, you can expect respect and every opportunity to reach your full potential. So, without further ado, we're going to have a look at a quick video about the Army Foundation College at the college. So what is the college? So the Army College at Harrogate is a development course for 16 and 17-year-olds who are going on to have a career in the Army. It is there's two courses. There's a short course and a long course. So the short course is designed for those that are going on to a longer role-specific course, such as vehicle mechanics, any type of engineering, geographical terrain analysts, you name it. Those are quite long courses. It's quite long role-specific courses. The long course is designed for mainly roles that are combat-orientated roles, such as the infantry, the Royal Artillery, the Royal Armoured Corps, and Royal Logistic Corps drivers. And those courses will have quite a lot of education linked to them. So ages on entry to the college. So if you're going on to the long course, you can join at 16. If you're going on to the short course, you need to be 16 years and 6 months on entry. The maximum age that you can join is 17 years, 5 months and 28 days. So it could be that you didn't quite get the GCSEs that are required for that job. Plenty of opportunity to do a resit, get those GCSEs to get yourself onto that course. So it's a mixture of training development. So you'll do your time at Harrogate, either the short course or the long course, and then you'll go on and do your role specific training. So the training program itself, as you would imagine, around about 59%, 60% of it is military training. So this is where you will learn how to be a soldier, so living and surviving outdoors, how to be self-disciplined, some teamwork, learning how to cook rations, learning how to build a shelter, learning how to iron your kit, learning how to march, and learning everything that you need to be a soldier. Physical development, this is an main area of the development. So we have 16, 17-year-olds. We need to develop them through a structured training, strength and conditioning program. So a lot of the strength and conditioning will take place in the gym, and it will be a mixture of high intensity physical training. You'll be doing some running, some loaded marches, and you'll also be doing some obstacle course training as well. Now, the physical training as well will also start to include sport. So at the college itself, there is every sporting facility that you could name. You know, you can do your mountain biking, you can do your football, you can do your hockey, you can do your jiu-jitsu, you name it, any type of sport is recognized and you will be actively encouraged to take part in that. So education plays a big element there. So as a soldier, you can be the best soldier, get the best reports from your commanding officers, but you need to be educationally trained as well. So to move to junior NCO status, so to become a full corporal, you need to have level 2s in numeracy and literacy. Now, some of our students leave school without those requirements. Some will join with no GCSEs. That's not a problem. But the education element at the college will support all of the learners to gain education qualifications when you're there. So you will be doing level 2 in functional skills, maths and English. If you've already got GCSEs, you'll more than likely be doing a BTEC in public services. So everybody at the college will do education. Resilience and leadership training. So a lot of leadership training, and that's mainly through adventurous training. So climbing, abseiling, expeditions. So there's the opportunity to get involved in expeditions there as well. And there's also the opportunity to complete Duke of Edinburgh's awards. So if you're on the Duke of Edinburgh ladder at this moment in time, you can continue that ladder, perhaps move from bronze to silver or silver to gold. It's all part of there. And resilience and leadership training is a big element of the college itself. But more importantly, we give our young people some life skills, learning to work with each other, learning to manage themselves, learning to do their own washing, do their own ironing, and manage their own finances. So it's quite a development course that we actually put you through. So like everywhere, there is rules and regulations, and I know that schools will have values, and I know that parents will have values on standards of behaviour. Well, the Army's slightly different. It has its values and standards, and those values you can see on the screen now are courage, integrity, discipline, loyalty, respect for others, and selfless commitment. Underpinned by that is totally professional, appropriate, and lawful. So those values and standards apply on duty, off duty. With that as well, you know, as you can do what you want when you're off duty, as long as it's lawful, as long as it's appropriate, and as long as it's professional. You know, we want you to be the best version of you. You don't have to fit in. And this is where a lot of our soldiers really benefit, because you're working and you're living with like-minded people, and it does help as you go through. So the education element. So I briefly mentioned education as we went through there before. So you can see the national overall pass rates are the greyed out area, and the college results are the green area. Why do we do so well? Well, we do really well because our young people buy into what we want to achieve. We educate the students slightly differently, so it does have a meaning for them as they go through, and our class sizes are much smaller. On average, it's 8 to 10 learners per teacher, and we also have the ability to give one-to-one for additional learning. So if somebody's got some additional learning needs, they may have dyslexia, and we can support them. We can give them coping mechanisms. We can ideally support them. Now, with the class sizes being a little bit smaller, and with the education leaning towards the role that they're going to do, we find that our students really buy into the education system. But we have that golden carrot at the end of it, because if you're complying and keeping up with your education, in the evenings when you want to go to the gym or do some basketball or play some sport or play golf or go on the mountain biking course, well, if you're keeping up with your education, you can go and do those. If you're not keeping up, guess what? You go back into the classroom for a little bit. So, our learners do buy into what we want to achieve with them. So I mentioned there before, junior soldier training. Yeah, there is 2 courses. Our intakes are in September and March. They never change. Okay, it's September and March as they go through, and the term times are based on the Yorkshire school calendar. So particularly students that come in on the short course, they will get a half-term break around about October time. They will then work through till Christmas and then leave approximately Easter time. The long course, again, going in September, half-term, some Christmas leave, another half-term, some Easter leave, and then finish off June and July. So with that training as well, it is paid. It is paid training. So you will do your soldier training, as I mentioned, at Harrogate, and then you'll go on to do your role-specific training. So your role-specific training will be linked to an apprenticeship. So if you're going to join something like the Army Air Corps, you will do your time at Harrogate, and then you will go do your role-specific training, which is as a ground crew specialist. So you will do a level 2 initial award in ground crew specialist in aviation. So you're actually getting some industry standard qualifications. Likewise with other qualifications as well. If you come in as a vehicle mechanic, you'll do your short course, yeah, and then you will go on and go to the mechanical engineering college in Lynham Station, where you will start your apprenticeship in mechanical engineering. You will finish that work-based apprenticeship at your first working unit. So how are we slightly different? Well, all of our students are paid to be at the college. The currently salary is £25,500 per annum. Now, when you put that against what civilian companies have to pay their apprenticeships, a civilian company now, government have just recently put it up, have to pay an apprentice £6.40 per hour. If the young person or student is going through college, they could be entitled to EMA at £30 a week. But obviously that is based upon the family income that comes in there. So, lots and lots of benefits of taking time to develop at the college, but also, the benefits of the apprenticeship as we go through. So life at the college, I've mentioned the education and military studies. I've mentioned there, obviously, class sizes and individual learning plans. But life at the college as well, we have to ensure that our students are safeguarded, that they're supported. Everybody has good days, everybody has bad days. So we have a lot of pastoral care and support. So we have our chaplaincy, and they cater for every religious domination. We also have our Army welfare staff. They will support as well. And we have our what we call the Army welfare staff who are non-uniform, so the Royal Women's Voluntary Service, they are there as well. And obviously our medical team. So as we're growing up, we sometimes need somebody to talk to. So we've got lots and lots of support there for the students to talk to people. These people that they're talking to on the welfare side, they may not be their training instructors. So we have separate teams there to have a little chat to people. And we find that 9 times out of 10, once the student has had a chat with somebody and sees that it's just the passage into life, that those problems go away. It's good to share a problem. In the evenings, they have canteen and shop, so they have the ability to spend the evening in things like the game suite. Okay, so we do have a dedicated game suite there where they can let off some steam. Maybe they want to go to the gym, go into the game suite, have some Coca-Cola, some chips, pizza, whatever, and just let off some steam there. So lots and lots of stuff to do in the evenings. Sports and fitness, a big area. So after week 7 of training, most students will have their first leave. They'll then come back and then they can try out for the various sporting teams, the football teams, cricket teams, rugby teams, hockey, you name the sport, it's there. So after week 7, they'll try out. If they are a county sports person or they are on the sports radars for various sports as they go through, we do have visits from Sport England. So if somebody is on that radar, we do have visits from Sport England to look at the progress as we go through there. But all sport is catered for. We have libraries, okay, so we may have some people that want to do some study, and we have libraries, we have IT suites, you name it, it is there for the learners to actually use. Now the accommodation, you'll see there a little picture of the accommodation. It is 4-person rooms as they go through. This is the students' accommodation, and there is privacy screens. So they have their bed, they have an area to do study, they have lockers as they go through. So the accommodation there is second to none for the students. So a little bit about pass in and pass out parade. So upon completion of the first 6 weeks, soldiers will do a pass in parade. They'll then go and have some leave. This is the first opportunity for family and friends to come and see the students. At the end of the passing in parade, students will go home for some leave with their family and then return back to the college. The graduation parade, this is the celebration that they've completed their time at Harrogate. They're going to move away. They're going to go off to do their role-specific training. And from that role-specific training, some will keep in touch with their friends. I'm still in touch with friends that were in junior service with me, but it marks the end. It's a major milestone, the graduation parade. There's normally some VIPs there, some senior officers, royalty, as we go through. So it's a spectacular day. Marching bands, everybody has a lump in their throat, and it's celebrating that you've now gone through Harrogate and that you're ready to move on to your career in the army. So we heard earlier on from Max and Hazel. Yeah, most parents that give me feedback are really happy that they know where their son and daughter is. They know that their son and daughter is being well looked after. They see the difference in them, not only that they've grown, but they've grown as a person. They've matured. They've become financially independent. They've got a different outlook on life as they go through. So, many parents are totally amazed with the support that is given to our students to go through. So this young lady, she joined the army, Lance Bombardier Smedley, and she was on the long course there. She made some lifelong friendships. She really embraced it, and her ambition is, after she's done some time in the field army, so doing her role, that she wants to come back to the college. Yeah, so her ambition is to go back there as an instructor, to support other people to enjoy it how she went. Many of the instructors at the college are former junior soldiers, so they really understand what our learners are going through. So that was a quick overview of the college itself. So I'm going to move on now to a little bit about what else life in the armed forces can offer you. So the ability to see the world. The ability to see the world is there. There is always travel, whether that be travel for training exercises. So, for example, we do a lot of training in Africa. So in Kenya, we do a lot of training. We train in Belize, so we do jungle training in Belize. We train a lot in Canada, and we also train a lot in America. So you will go across, you'll do your training exercise, normally about 4 weeks of training exercise, and then there is a period of about a week of adventurous training, I was lucky enough to be able to go into the Rocky Mountains and do some real great whitewater rafting. And then you get about a week off as well to go and explore on your own. So whilst we were there, we were able to go to places like Banff, the Calgary Stampede in Canada. I was lucky enough to train in California, at a place called Fort Ord, which is just south of San Francisco and near Monterey Bay. During my time there, I was able to go out and look at some of the whales, because I quite like my sea life out there, and had the opportunity to travel down to Disneyland. So when you're on these training exercises, there is also the opportunity there for you to look at other cultures and take other things in. Sorry about that, just had to clear the throat a little bit. So civilian recognised qualifications. So you join the army, you have your time in the army, whether you have a full career, whether you have a short career, you will get civilian recognised qualifications. So these qualifications are industry standard. So for example, if you become a chef in the army, you'll do a level 2 in catering and hospitality and food production services. That is our initial start state. So everybody comes in and does level 2 qualifications. There's the opportunity for you to move through the qualifications up to level 7. So everything that you do is industry standard. Everybody has 6 weeks paid holiday. So if you're lucky enough to do some sport and adventurous training, that doesn't come off your holiday entitlement. Your time adventurous training in Canada and getting out to see the local communities doesn't come off your paid holidays. So 6 weeks paid leave, and you take that as you want. Some units will dictate when you take it, especially if they've got a heavy training burden, but you can really take your leave. Most weekends are free. Finish work on a Friday lunchtime, weekend is your own, so you can go off and explore. Healthcare. So all of our soldiers, all of their healthcare is included in the package. This includes dentistry, health and well-being, fitness, nutrition. The healthcare services ensure that our soldiers are free and ready to move on to any operational circumstances that we need them to be. So they're fully vaccinated. Their teeth are fit to deploy, because there's nothing worse than having a toothache when you're out deploying. So every aspect of your healthcare is taken care of. I particularly benefited from this. So my background is a sporting background. I joined the army mainly to play sport. I had the opportunity to play rugby at a very, very high standard, and I played rugby throughout my time in the army. I spent a lot of time in rehabilitation. As a rugby player, you do get some knocks, bumps and strikes, and the benefit was because I was in service, I was straight into rehab the next day, sorted out, and then back on the field to play very, very quickly. So that is one of the major benefits. I can't emphasize sport. We have our sporting role models. We have Olympic champions. We have professional sports people who are playing sport as well as managing their professional career. And this just isn't male. This is male and females. Okay, so we have soldiers who are pretty much playing professional football. We have a bronze medalist who is in the Royal Artillery. She represented the country at the last Olympics. So any sport that you can play, we will support you. The army will support you. We do really, I can't emphasize how important sport is in the army. Adventurous training. Everybody will do 2 weeks adventurous training, whether that be low-level adventurous training such as hiking, hill walking, or whether that be high level, so expeditions to the Alps, working out in Canada, taking a charity walk up Kilimanjaro. anything that you can think of adventurous training, it's done. And this is a major leadership tool for us, putting people in situations that they may not be comfortable with, and then they develop from there. I'm not going to touch too much on pension, but you do come into a pension scheme. Pension rules are changing all the time, but you do come into a non-contributory pension scheme that you will be enrolled onto. Every military establishment caters for sport, so whether that be your chosen sport, whether that be sport in the evening, whether that be going to the gym, whether that be going for a swim, it's all there. Apprenticeships, I've mentioned apprenticeships as you go on, they are industry standard. So when you're making your choices, when you're talking about your career there, look at what you want to do. You know, we are very, very big. We are the #1 apprenticeship provider in the United Kingdom, and we're very, very proud of that. Our apprenticeships are highly played. There's no waiting about. You know, you go in, you do your role specific training, you do that apprenticeship, you do that work-based training in the army, you are awarded those qualifications very, very quickly. The next point for me is really, really important, which is meeting like-minded people. If you're working in a team that are working for the same goals, have got the same outlooks, they may not agree on everything. However, we've got the same goal. We want to do this. I'm ambitious. I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. I want to explore. I want to be inquisitive. Wow, that makes for a great working environment. And then finally, on the offer there, the subsidised living costs. So many of our soldiers benefit from a good salary. Yeah, it is a good initial salary as we go through. The daily food charge is £6.20 a day. So that is for your breakfast. Breakfast will consist of bacon, eggs, sausages, fried bread, cereals, tea, coffee, toast, juice, everything that you can think of at a breakfast, that's on every day for you. Lunch is more of a snack meal, so sausages and chips, fish and chips. It could be salad bars or baguette bars. And then in the evening, it's more of a traditional, what I call a meat and 2 veg meal. So chicken, mash, carrots, cauliflower, followed by pudding as you go through. And again, tea, coffee, juice as you go through there. £6.20 a day. When I speak to students that are coming through me or people that are in the recruiting process, I normally ask them, how much do you spend last time you went to Mackey's? And they'll say, well, normally about a tenner. Some of them spend a little bit more. But if you think that £6.20 a day for your food, you know, that is a real one. Accommodation charges. So yes, they pay accommodation charges, and that's around about £50 per week. So on average, our students end up with approximately about £1,400 to £1,500 a month once all of their stoppages have gone out. So that is a real good salary. The other thing as well is all your uniform is provided, all your tools for work is provided. You live and work on base, and you know you've got no commuting charges. So you know quite a bit of benefit as you go through. So how to join? Like all companies now, all of the armed forces and most providers, it is an online application. So you would go visit our website, Google Army Jobs, how to join, and it would take you to our landing page. And on the landing page, it would say register. So what you would do is you would register. So you register with an email address and a telephone number. Once you've registered, an activation email would be sent to the email address. This is quite a critical thing because sometimes, depending on your computer settings, it could go into your junk folders. So have a little junk. It will say RG Army. Yeah, it will get there to you. And if you haven't had it, you know, please ring one of the careers offices and let them know. So you'll hit the activation link and you will fill out the basic eligibility. So your nationality, where you're from, a little bit about you, about your education and things like that. Now, if you are looking perhaps at staying on in sixth form, please put that in there, that it's predicted grades. We do accept predicted grades as we go through. Okay, so that will then put you into a different stream. That'll put you into officer stream rather than soldier stream. Okay, so really, really important that when you're putting the education elements in, that you put that in there correctly as you go through. So once you've completed the application, that will go to your nearest Army Career Centre automatically. When I go into work in the morning, we will pick up fresh applications, and then from there we will contact them. You'll be contacted. You'll do an online medical questionnaire, which will ask you some medical questions about your medical history, and then from there you will be contacted by the team. So the team will contact you, and they will arrange for you to come into the career centre, where you'll have a presentation. It's not an interview. It is a presentation where we will explain to you about the opportunities. We very much encourage parents to come in to those presentations. And that presentation will tell you all about the joining process. It will tell you about what you need to know about the assessment centre, and you will leave that with an individual learning plan. At this stage, it's advice and guidance. You've had that discussion, you go away, you speak with family and friends. Is this for me? Yes or no? Is this what I want to do? Is this an option? You are not committing yourself by attending that careers discussion and presentation. At that careers presentation, we will then start to do a medical review. So we'll access your primary healthcare records, and those will be scrutinised by the teams. So again, this is a key area. It will be explained during the discussion. There's 3 outcomes, which is a pass, proceed to assessment. It could be that we need some further medical evidence, or it could be that there's a rejection or a temporary time bar. Okay, again, these will be explained to you. Now, one of the questions that we always get is for junior soldiers with regards to braces. So you can join Harrogate College if you have braces fitted. The only stipulation is that your treatment will not be completed by the Army. You need to complete your treatment during your leave time, and that treatment needs to be completed by the time that you leave Harrogate. Again, please ask the careers advisors when you go into the office. So having braces is not a bar to joining Harrogate. So once you've done medical, you'll go through the assessment centre, and the teams will prepare you for that. So you will attend a pre-assessment presentation. The assessment centre is a 2-day process. We provide the travel, and we have 3 main assessment centres. We have Glencorse up in Scotland. We have Purbright, which is in the south of England, and we have Lichfield, which is in the middle area, Staffordshire. And depending where you are geographically, you will go to one of those assessment centres. It is residential, and it consists of some classroom tests, a medical, some physical tests. So you will do the Army entrance physical tests, and they will just confirm your job role. So for the September intakes, you will be offered a job with predicted grades, because we know that you don't get your GCSE results until the August time. That is a conditional offer. If you don't get those GCSEs, there will be other opportunities for you. A touch on the fitness tests that you will do at the assessment centre. They're quite easy. It's the bleep test. So most of our students will have done the bleep test at school. At school, it's a 15-metre bleep test. The Army entrance test is 20 metres. There's a medicine ball throw, a medicine ball that weighs 4 kilograms. You will throw that. And there will be a mid-thigh pull, which measures the strength in your lower back and your legs. But this will all be discussed at your careers discussions. So once you've completed the assessment centre, you will then be moving through the process where we will start you to get you ready for initial training up at Harrogate. Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned so far is we do have some open days coming up at Harrogate. So you can look to go to the college. The open days are on the 25th and 26th of January. If you Google Army Foundation College Facebook page, it is loaded by Harrogate College themselves, and all the information about the open days will be on their Facebook page. So it's the Saturday and Sunday. There's 3 tours per day. So there's a 10 o'clock tour, a 12 o'clock tour, and a 2 o'clock tour. So you book yourself onto a tour. You get a central presentation by the staff of the college. You get to go and visit the medical centre. You get to go and see the student accommodation. You get to see other students that are currently going through the college. So it's the opportunity to actually go up there, see the college, look at where your sons and daughters are going to be training for parents, but more importantly, looking for the students, for them to actually see what life is going to be like at the college and the environment that they want to go into. So the open days are well worth being up there. There's also the opportunity to speak to recruiting staff there as well. So if you've got any problems with your application, we do have some recruiters up there to support that. Okay, so moving on now, we're going to look at some frequently asked questions as we go through, as we go there. So term time, I've explained that it's mainly based on the Yorkshire school holidays. Yeah, so normally do about 8 weeks and then have a period of leave, whether that be a half-term break or whether that be Christmas or Easter as you go on. Harrogate College, yes, it is Army basic training, and you will become a junior soldier in the Army. We're gender fair, yeah. So increasingly, all roles are open to females in the Army. Mobile phones is always a big question. Yep, you're not going to walk around with your mobile phone on your hip. Okay, you are there to train. It is a workplace, but outside of training times, you will get access to your mobile phone. You will be encouraged to ring home. You will be able to keep up. You can even bring things back like your Xboxes and your games so that you can meet up with your mates from school and play a game of FIFA or Call of Duty, whatever you want to do. Now, Harrogate College itself. So during the recruiting process, our recruits are there with parental consent. So the recruiting activities, so when you apply, we'll ask for parental consent for recruiting activities. This is not consent to join the Army. Once you've been accepted to go to Harrogate, we will then ask for parental consent to enlist. All of our youngsters are entitled to leave the Army whilst they are under the age of 18. So they're not permanently there until they are over 18. Okay, so once you've completed your time, once you're 18, you can then go on to you're going to get a 12-year contract, out of which you're committing yourself to serve 4 years from your 18th birthday. Can I come and visit? Yes, open days. I've mentioned those as we go on. So pass out parades, graduation parades as we go on there. So those are some of our regular questions. So I've talked now for 45 minutes or so. Let's go into the Q&A.
Thanks very much, Paul. It was very informative. There have been quite a few questions, and I'm just going to quickly go through some of them. You have answered some, but I might repeat some of the questions that you've already answered just because they've been asked a few times. Just a quick recap on accommodation, because it's been asked 2 or 3 times. I remember you saying accommodation costs about £50 a week, so that means accommodation needs to be paid for. Is that correct? But it's heavily subsidised by the sound of it.
Yeah, so the accommodation the accommodation charges are paid for. Okay, so they're paid for by the student. That includes all of your heating, your light, your council tax. Everything is in that accommodation charge. When you're on annual leave, you don't pay the accommodation charge, but whilst you're in that service accommodation, you will pay that. It could be that during your years after your time at the college, it could be that you get married. You're then entitled to service accommodation as well, which is heavily subsidised. So a 3-bedroom house is around about £350 per month rent. Yeah, so everything is subsidised as we go through.
There's a couple of, so in your slides, I saw some of the different opportunities, and one was like a opportunity to be involved in music as a career. So it's not specifically that as a question. The question was, are there opportunities in the army other than being a soldier per se? So there's someone who's studying computer science, or are there any other opportunities other than being a soldier?
Yes, so the army we have 82,000 soldiers in the army. We're split over 7 different career employment groups. So everybody is a soldier first. So those career employment groups are logistics and support. So this is things like storage, warehouse, distribution, catering and policing, and also transport operations. We have our cyber engineers. So we have our IT and communications. So if you can imagine an outside broadcast, well, the army does that when it's sending back messages. Apart from ours is totally secure. So we have installation technicians, cyber engineers who install the equipment, cyber engineers who repair the equipment. We have our own security teams who try and break into that communications network. So yeah, engineering is very, very big. So we have the Royal Engineers who look after anything to do with civil engineering, so building, constructing, heating, plumbing, you name it, that is in there as well. Plant operators, mechanics, building bridges, anything to do with civil engineering, roads, aircraft repair or airfield repair. Yes. The Royal Electrical Mechanical Engineers looks after our mechanical engineering, so fixing, repairing and modifying all of our equipment, from the Apache Longbow helicopter, so aviation technicians, avionics technicians, right down to vehicle mechanics, recovery mechanics. So lots and lots of jobs. So there's 72 different roles that you can do. And when you go into the career centre, this is where you will explore those roles. We will narrow those roles down to 3 roles before you go to assessment centre. And then you will choose the role that you want to go into Harrogate. So you'll do your soldier training at Harrogate, and then you will do your role specific training.
Thank you for that. It's very comprehensive. I'm going to group a few questions that we've had together. They kind of all fall into the same category. At what age can you join? So there's a question, I'm 15, can I join? I'm in year 12, can I join? And do I need GCSEs to join? And do I need specific grades with GCSEs to join? So you could probably group all of those together and answer them at once, actually. Right.
Okay. So you can join at the age of 16 if you are going into the long course. So if you're going into a combat role or a driving or a role in the Royal Artillery, you can join at 16. If you're going into anything that involves a driving license, you need to be 16 years and 6 months. So the maximum age limit is 17 years and 5 months that you can join the college on. Those that are going into things like cyber engineering will need GCSE grades 9 to 4. You don't require GCSEs for some roles. You do require GCSEs for anything to do with a technical role on the apprenticeship. Now, all of this information is on the website there, but when you come into your careers presentation, this is what we will be chatting through for you. So, for example, a vehicle mechanic needs GCSEs at 9 to 4. So in old language, it is C's in maths and English going on there. Somebody that was going in the Royal Logistic Corps as a driver does not require GCSEs. However, you will do educational learning at the college to ensure that you're fit for promotion.
Thank you. There's a couple of questions on the courses. So there's a short course and a long course. There's a couple of questions on whether people can switch halfway through if they start one and want to go on to the other.
Okay, so during your time at the college there, you will be going on to the long course is designed to physically develop people that are going into mainly combat roles or Royal Artillery roles. So the short courses are designed for people that are going into a more technical role. You generally do not switch once you're there. You know, once you're there, that is the role that you're going to do. And that is the agreement that you've gone into, because we do need to deliver army capability. Yeah, we do balance on, you know, the amount of capability that the army needs. So in some years, we may not take any vehicle mechanics into Harrogate because we simply don't need that capability. However, other years, we may be taking 35 or 40 vehicle mechanics. So again, the most important thing is to get to your careers office and chat to your careers advisors with regards to certain roles at certain times.
And very quickly, if I'm like doing A levels or A levels equivalent, BTEC, whatever it is, and I'm going to finish those when I'm 18, what's the route into the army from there? Just if we could be very brief on that, just because there's a couple of people asking.
Okay, if you're doing A levels, the first thing you should do in year 12 is apply for sixth form scholarship. Sixth form scholarship will open up the army bursary schemes to you, which will fund your university degree. So you can either join via Sandhurst after your A levels, or you can join after you've done your degree, but you can get sponsored bursaries for your time at university. So different routes as we go through, but the route there for people that are going on is via the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst.
And there was actually a question on Sandhurst. So if we start this course here, the short, the long one, can this lead on to being an officer?
No.
Sandhurst?
No, because you wouldn't have got your A levels, because you're basically doing years 12 and 13 at Harrogate instead of doing your A levels.
Okay, great. One of the questions I want to address is about the fitness test that you have to do. Quite a few people have asked, can you just repeat what the minimum fitness levels are? And, you know.
Yeah. So the fitness tests are the multi-stage fitness test or bleep test, medicine ball throw, and the mid-thigh pull. So, for example, the highest level is parachute regiment, and you need to achieve level 11, stage 3 as a minimum on your bleep test. You need to be able to throw the medicine ball 3 meters, and you need to have a mid-thigh pull of 75 kilograms. Also, these are role specific. So if you were joining something like the Royal Artillery, it's level 6, stage 6 on the multi-stage fitness test, 3 meters again on the medicine ball throw, but only 50 kilograms on the mid-thigh pull. Each role is different. Infantry is level 8, stage 6. Mid-thigh pull again is 50 kilograms, and medicine ball throw is 3 kilograms. The core of Army Music is level 4, stage 6 on the multi-stage fitness test, and again 2.9 on the medicine ball throw and 50 kilograms on the mid-thigh pull. So each job is very, very different. The entry standards are really achievable. You will be given fitness support right from the minute you start your application, and you will be supported to ensure that you meet the standards to go to assessment.
Thank you. Talking about support, there's a question that's been asked about what kind of pastoral care do the young people have while living away from home, and how do you deal with any issues that might arise?
Okay, so our staff are specially trained. So when we are assessing our young people that are going there, we need to be assured that if the young person is having any issues or any problems, that they have the confidence to say, look, something's not quite right, and they report it. So we do have the Women's Royal Army Voluntary Service. They are not part of the training routine, so somebody to listen. We have the chaplaincy for all denominations, so they can go and speak to the chaplaincy department. we have trained army welfare staff, and we have a separate welfare suite as well. So the welfare area is really covered. The safeguarding for everybody is covered. We have teams that come in who look at our safeguarding practices as we go on there. So lots and lots of safeguarding. All of the staff have undergone specific training courses to help them to identify any of our learners who we may feel is having a problem. So we can see by somebody's behavior if they're struggling. Okay, so we have lots and lots of pastoral care and support whilst they're at the college.
And I've got a question here. Like, it may be that we defer this, but like, if I'm neurodiverse and I'm applying, does that matter?
So my one with that one is it's a massive field. What people should do is they should apply, and we let the medical professionals make a decision on individual cases, because every case is slightly different. The army will give everybody the opportunity. So, it could be that on paper it's an entry fail, but the army will give you what we call a best chance to proceed, where you will go and see one of our army doctors, and that army doctor will make a decision based on their experience of what that military role requires that person to do. So apply, let the medical professionals make those decisions.
Great, Paul. I mean, we do have like a lot more questions, but I think we're gonna do what we've done, and we'll send them over and get them answered and share them with everyone when we share the YouTube, or like we'll send an email out with the answers or publish them. But we've got through pretty much most of the major ones. Just want to say thank you to Paul and everyone that's attended tonight. It's been really informative. Hope you've found it useful, and as I said, we'll be publishing the recording of this video tomorrow on our YouTube channel. It's just at Success at School, or if you just search at Success at School, you'll find it. And if there's anything else, any other questions, if you put them on the chat, we'll make sure they get answered. Thank you very much, guys.